reason I can never let anybody make me feel guilty, no matter the sin I commit, is that I've realized that when people say if I were you, when they try to put themselves in a moral pedestal, they actually lie, no, but it's not intentional. Because when they picture being you, they bring their own resources into the situation. They imagine being you, but they still imagine still having that uncle abroad sending them money. They still imagine their parent as a safety net. They still imagine having options. They are imagining if they were you, but in their own thinking of if I were you, they've eaten. You haven't eaten for 3 days. Your eyes is not clear. Everywhere is blurry. They don't picture you being with. They don't imagine when they say if I were this person. They don't imagine themselves the way you are without any option, without any backup. They always imagine themselves as you, but they still always give themselves backup in their own thinking. That's why it's so easy to judge you, because they really have never fully felt that experience. They don't picture you being on day 3 without having any food, or having to make a choice that most people will never make, and every option in front of you actually looks like the wrong one. They actually judge you from comfort. They moralize things from a safety net. They say I will never do this thing. But that's because they've never had to. The person that is calling your decision shameful has never had to choose between their dignity and eating. The person saying that they would have done better has never felt the specific weight of your pressure, silence, of closed doors. So it's easy to have standards when you have never had to compromise. It's very easy to have principles that has never been tested by desperation. So the real talk is that most people's morality is just untested comfort. So don't let anybody who hasn't stood in the exact fire that you are tell you how you should have burned. You survived with what you have. That's not weakness, that's warfare.